we are live. And joining me live is the one, the only Saba.
Hi everyone, my first time going LinkedIn Live.
Oh my God, that is
Yes.
so exciting. And Saba just came here. I'm actually still at the conference, VidCon conference. And Saba and I, we had this exciting conversation about why educators need to attend industry conferences. And then she suggested, why don't we just go live? And so that's why we're doing this live. So before we get started, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, just in case
Yeah.
people who don't know you.
No, for sure. I'm a former high school history teacher. I taught for about 10 years, and now I work with schools going one-to-one or just looking at how to use technology. And I'm currently a doctoral student at the University of Southern California looking at design thinking in global education systems.
She's really amazing. You guys should really follow her. Saba is my dear friend. I still remember we connected a few years ago when Blab was really popular, right? We even had a show together, and it was really awesome how social media can bring people together. Oh, we have a Queen here. Hey, a Queen is actually my undergraduate student.
Oh, wow. Well, then this is the perfect time to talk about, well, I actually wanted I to talk, but one of the things I wanted I to share is she's an educator, but one of the things that I love about following her and I love about what she shares is she attends so many industry-related conferences. And so I think in education, we attend a lot of, ed tech conferences, and we go to a lot of education conferences, but share a little bit, about your experience with what happens when you go to an industry conference.
Okay, so this is my theory. I feel like traditional conferences in academia, they are mainly about the past. What was happening, theories, we theorize what happened in the past. But when I go to industry conferences, it is really about the future. What's going on, what is happening. And I feel like educators, especially those of us who are teaching social media, digital marketing, and the business, all those things, I feel like it is our responsibility to attend those industry conferences so that we can bring best practices to the classroom so students actually understand what is going on instead of what was working in the past. And I
Tell
think
them about the students that you saw at the conference, because a lot of times when you go to educator conferences, there's no students present, but you saw a lot of students at this one, right?
at this conference, I feel so old. So I actually brought my son to this conference. He is almost 8 years old. I was like, oh my God, he must be the youngest kid at the conference. First of all, this conference has 75K people. And but I was so surprised. There were so many children, like 2 years old, 4 years old, 5 years,
Wow.
10 years old. Yes, and some of those kids,
I didn't realize they were so young. I
Oh.
thought they were more like teenagers.
even babies,
Wow.
and even the questions they ask is so interesting. And random people approach us and ask us, "Hey, do you guys have a YouTube channel?" Me and my son, like, what's your family YouTube channel? Or they see a dog, a cat, or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, what's the Instagram handle for your dog?"
Oh, wow.
That's their small talk. So it's really eye-opening. And so all those children, like, to me, they're like babies, so young, but they have millions of subscribers, and they are doing amazing work. So one of this amazing YouTuber, and she gave a keynote, and she's blind. She's very young, but she's really influential. She really inspired many other content creators who are disabled, but she kind of give them the permission to come out to share their stories.
Wow.
But I feel like
That's
as
really powerful.
educators, we need to understand teaching doesn't have to happen in the classroom, right? And there's this amazing social media, so many social media platforms, and they can come out, they can share
Absolutely,
their
yeah.
stories. And for teachers, they need to come to those industry conferences to network, to know what is going on, to stay relevant.
Absolutely.
Stay relevant. It's so important, right? Like, I think one of the biggest problems in our educational system is we are not preparing students for the future. We're not doing that enough. We're preparing students more so for the past, I feel like. I mean, there are some fundamental principles like writing, learning, critical thinking. Those are important, but we need to translate that into the 21st century language, right? Like writing. How do you write online?
Absolutely. Well, what were you about interviews?
Exactly.
Right? Like, so I was sharing, so it was my first time watching somebody go live, across multiple platforms. And one of the things that I love that I said, she's like, it's really not about the technology. Like, the tools are there. Like, those are easy. You can go online and figure out how to use them. It's the interviewing skills that are really, really, really important. So I thought that was cool. There's a quote that I like. You'll probably like this one too. It's by William Gibson. He says, "The future is here. It just isn't evenly distributed."
Oh, I love it.
So
I
you
love
think
it.
about all the kids that you're talking about at your conference, they're doing these things that we're talking about. Oh yeah, this is the future to the kids in like a lot of classrooms.
Exactly. And we're just talking about, can you imagine those children who have already millions of subscribers? They know exactly what they want in their life. And sit in a classroom and learn and the traditional stuff. It's just
It
not
must be
going.
hard.
It's not going to work. And Saba and I were just talking, and last year I read this article, which is a prediction made by a business school professor at Harvard University, and he predicted 50% of American colleges, they are going to go bankrupt in the next 10 to 15 years. And I was like, wow. And the reason for that was because like so many schools, they are not innovating because, I work in higher education, like all the layers of approval, like paperwork, all those things you have to go through. It's very hard. It's like to change, to innovate. And but at the same time, there are more and more alternative schools, and like even me, I'm building my own school, and the more research I do, the more alternative schools I discover. I think very soon it's like traditional education is just going to be an option. You don't have to do this in order to become successful. Like I think there is still value for education for sure, but like for more and more young children who understand who they are, what they want, and they're so good at engaging in this self-directed learning. They know how to navigate through the internet,
Yeah.
finding resources, and creating their own career. I don't think they need a traditional school. So, but at the same time, I feel like traditional education, they need to feel this pressure to innovate, to change. Otherwise, I think they will be disrupted, and some of them already are. Exactly. Yeah. So I think, yeah. So I think if, like, I don't know if we have. I know it's Saturday. Oh my God, it's 10 p.m. already
Oh
for
wow.
people in the.
Okay, on the East Coast,
In,
yeah.
yeah. So if I have any educators joining us live or even watching the replay, I don't know. I don't know if we're on LinkedIn Live now, because we're at this hotel. The connection is now the strongest.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have any questions.
Or conference recommendations. I think that's another hard thing. I remember when I was teaching before, I met people like you and Brian Fanzo and just like everyone in the social media world. I remember I didn't really know what industry conferences were out there. So I think even if people share, these are different conferences that are taking place so that educators could choose, this is where I might find some value. Drop that in the comments.
Yeah, I love this comment from Mike. Traditional education has to change. Oh, so totally. South by Southwest, EDU, and be interactive. So true. And my friend Tim is here. Yeah, exactly. I think, like, I think it's not the teacher's fault. I think there are some fundamental flaws in our system that prevent teachers from doing what they feel like it is the right thing to do, right? And we all know that teachers, they don't get paid a lot, and many of those industry conferences are really
That
expensive.
is very true. That
Right?
is a great point. Yeah, that is
And
a great point.
and for many of us, we do have like a few $100s travel grant, but that money is only for us to attend academic conferences. There's no incentive for us to really go to professional conferences, and then we have to pay out of our pocket. So there's just like,
But I think those are the kinds of challenges we have to bring forward so that we can have conversations. Like I wonder, would conferences be willing to give an educator discount, a student discount,
That's a
so
great
that
point.
people
Yeah.
can be able to do that? So sometimes asking for those things, like they're also not in that space, right? Like industry professionals don't really have that problem of like paying for conferences all the time and things like that. I mean, some might, but I don't think that's as much of the norm as it is in education. So sometimes maybe will they offer those discounts? I know actually a lot of them do. Alex Fenian was keynoting at a conference. I can't remember which one in LA, and they had students for only $25.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think sometimes like those things are available, and if not, then again, it's just that opportunity for a conversation to be able to say like, hey, this is something. How do we make this happen?
Oh, totally. Yeah. So I think it's really like an effort from the teachers,
Yeah.
from the school, and even like from students, and
Yeah.
of course from the industry. You know, but right now this whole is really siloed, right?
Yes,
And
very
for,
siloed.
even for parents, like so many of
Yeah.
us who are parents, we just completely outsource our children's education to school. Like I send my kids to a good school. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't think so. I think also in terms of technology, like I think technology is like everything else. You know, I don't think banning technology is the best approach.
Right.
Do you think like yeah, like Saba and I we actually connected?
I
because-
mean, there's so many people I never would have met if it was not for online.
Exactly. And the same thing. I think that's like how I feel about this conference. I am just so inspired that all those like 10 years old, 12 years old, they're like networking, connecting, sharing content.
And that's so much skill as well, right? To be able to network like that at such a young age. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
many kids are so shy and whatnot. To be able to go in, network, have those conversations, know how to open a conversation is such an important skill.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, like I like speak of which, I think traditional education, like students they go to school and they learn from teachers, of course, and also like other students who are about kind of similar age. But I'm an advocate of mixed age learning. Like that's why I brought my kids here because like in professional working environment, oftentimes we work with people who are different from us, who are of different ages, right? Like you don't just work with people who are at your age. I think even for me at this conference, I feel like very soon I will be working with those kids so much younger than me, but they know so much more than me. Like I attended so many sessions, and the panelists and speakers, they were like half of my age. I was like, wow.
That's awesome.
Like I'm learning so much. Oh, my friend Rob is here. Hey Rob, thank you. I think I don't even know if I'm live on LinkedIn. I think there
No,
was
I
some
think you were.
I think there were some connection issues. I might be live now. The Wi-Fi at this conference, interesting. At this video conference, is now the best. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anything else? You guys, any comments, any questions you want us to discuss? And Rob, you are also just at this conference. If you want to share some takeaways with us, or Tina is tagging some of her friends, probably educators. And also, seriously, like I started attending professional conferences about 2 years ago, and pretty much changed my career. Like everything I do outside of the classroom has made me a much better teacher inside the classroom. And I have personal stories I can share with my students, and I can bring in like amazing speakers from the industry to share with my students what is going on. Like a few years before I started my own journey, like I was pretty much teaching based on the textbook, and I wasn't able to bring in like latest cases and examples, things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
So it has been a really eye-opening experience, and I really encourage other educators who are on this journey and check out professional conferences and industries and the schools. If we have educators and leaders watching this right now, really encourage your teachers to check out professional
Absolutely, yeah.
conferences. Yeah. Anyway, we just want to come here to share this. And so thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for joining us live. And if you are watching this on replays, so thank you so much, everyone. Bye.